Welcome back. Thank you for staying with the Hot 7 TV Nightly News. In response to the World Health Organization's declaration of the coronavirus in Wuhan, China, the Department of Health and Wellness in St. Lucia has activated its coronavirus response plan. More in this report.
As the Department of Health and Wellness continues to monitor the international situation of the coronavirus, officials within the ministry are working closely with stakeholders to ensure preparedness and the response to the threat of the coronavirus. Chief Medical Officer Dr. Sharon Belma-George spoke on the measures in place to ensure monitoring and coordinated response to a possible threat of the coronavirus.
In terms of surveillance, active surveillance at our high-risk areas, which the ports are a very important link for that, both our air and our seaports. So this is one part of the preparation that we have in place. The other area which we are strengthening is our healthcare facilities in ensuring preparation at that level, and that includes the identification of quarantine and treatment areas at the necessary facility. It also includes the training of all of our healthcare workers to ensure that any patient coming in, that they're able to detect and ask the necessary questions such as travel history, and to be able to manage in a safe manner the management of such a patient to reduce the impact on other persons.
Dr. Belma-George also spoke on the efforts to undertake sensitization sessions with the St. Lucia Air and Seaports Authority, SLASPA, as to enhance and manage the possibility of the coronavirus at the ports.
Senior officials of the Ministry of Health and Wellness, we are meeting with the senior team at the St. Lucia Air and Seaports Authority in our discussion on the enhancement of the port health services. This is a very important part of our plan to strengthen our capacity to manage the coronavirus disease. So today we were able to present to them on the disease and its development so far in the international scene, and also update them on the present plans of the Ministry of Health and discuss the different recommendations that we have for the ports to facilitate the prevention and early detection of cases that may come into our port.
The Chief Medical Officer also reiterated that St. Lucia has not registered any cases of the coronavirus. Reporting from the Communications Unit of the Ministry of Health and Wellness, I am Fidel Neptune.
Members of the public are expressing concern given reports about the deadly new coronavirus and share their thoughts on whether St. Lucia is doing enough to address the threat. Here is what you had to say.
It's very ironic because for some strange reason this morning I was listening to the news, and then it just dawned on me that what if this thing reaches St. Lucia? And I realized that if this thing were to jump borders and end up in St. Lucia, we may be in a lot of trouble. I mean, I'm not a doctor, I'm not a medical person, I'm not a disease psychologist or anything. I'm nothing of that sort. I don't know how diseases are transferred and move around. I'm not a professional along those lines. But I know with my limited knowledge that because of the communicable diseases that are around us, it can be spread through coughing and sneezing and stuff like that. Because of the possibility of those, I mean, you don't have to be a doctor or any professional to know that if this thing reaches in St. Lucia, we'll be in some serious trouble. However, I think at this point, it's an important thing that everybody become alert and begin to get prepared. I mean, preparedness would be, of course, you may have to quarantine yourself, you may have to stay home. So it might be a good idea to start preparing your stuff at home, like get your dry goods, store water, because you may not be able to go out, and of course you can get masks. People who are not well, get extra stock in relation to your medicines, because you may have to stay in if this ever reaches St. Lucia. But God forbid it doesn't, and we are spared.
My view is we are not prepared for it because I haven't heard any place where they could quarantine people, if they do get it. So we are not prepared for it. They should do something about it to have the people quarantined when they come here and tested as soon as they land in St. Lucia before they hit the public, because that is a dangerous thing, and they should have a place to quarantine people, and we are not prepared for it as yet.
I don't really know. Health officials, I don't know.
Because I see St. Lucia, too slow. Our economy too slow. And they don't have doctors for them things in St. Lucia?
Me have nothing to say because I mean a lot of news, but me have nothing to say.
So you feel you are really touched down, boy?
No boy, all of us dying here. I want to die here.
I have a feeling that it may just come, and if it does, I think the best way to deal with it is preparation. I also think at this point that the Ministry of Health, along with the officials, they need to spend some time, sensitizing the people, come officially and speak to the people, let them understand really the dynamics of the disease, of the virus, and how it can be passed on, and some of the things that they could use, methods that they could practice to prevent the spread and to control the spread. Of course, I really wish that it doesn't come to St. Lucia, but if it does, I hope that we are able to deal with it as efficiently, as effectively as a people, and it may not bring us too many casualties or any casualties whatsoever.
St. Lucia, without money, you can't make it. You can't make it without money, so I feel that we could make it here with that. The doctors themselves might die first.
We are unprepared because what happened, nobody, no health minister, not anybody, nobody or nurses or doctors are coming out and say, what they're going to do or if they're prepared to stop that thing from. Because if that sickness come here, half of St. Lucia will pass out. You understand? Because nobody not saying nothing about it. They're only talking about overseas, where it is, and they're not talking about if it comes down here, if they're already prepared for it. So I think we are unprepared. We are not ready for that yet.
No, I don't feel prepared for that Congo virus. No.
Nah, man. Nobody prepared for that. Nah, man. At all. No, not at all. That will just destroy everybody in St. Lucia. We're too close. We're too small. Everybody together. Nah. We're not prepared.
We are in no way prepared for the coronavirus. We're not prepared for a normal flu season. We cannot be prepared for the coronavirus.
If I want to just extend a little bit and speak a little bit about, the way our medical services are. Presently, according to the reviews, we don't really have a powerful health system in place to manage diseases. Diseases have been around, much less if something new comes around. So, I want us to put in place, get ready, government get ready, the people get ready, and if it doesn't happen, then we are ready anyway. Thank you very much.
Those were your views in our Have Your Say segment. Members of the music fraternity have banded together to advocate for the advancement of the local music industry and to secure what they rightfully deserve as musicians.
An intensive workshop was recently put on by Balance Inc., the newly formed entity that seeks to protect the rights and benefits of musicians. President of Balance Inc., Leonard Blaise Prosper, says the aim is to establish policies and standards that will redound to the benefit of the entire music fraternity. The recent workshop focused on the history of calypso and soca and the business of being an artiste. Prosper says the overall aim is to get musicians to understand their worth so that they can demand better from the industry.
First of all, what we have done is suggest a few things to government and the creative industries and CDF. We have spoken to the minister at length, and we have suggested what we call a minimum fee for performance. And that is your starting point. Your minimum fee for performance, and that's just your starting point. You could negotiate higher than that, but you cannot go below that. Nobody's supposed to pay you below that. You're supposed to know your worth. That's number one. And this is what we're here to do, to develop the artists in understanding their worth and the business that they're into.
Floor rep of Balance Inc. and former Calypso monarch T.C. Brown was full of praise for the efforts of the organization and its president. He said the session drew participation from musicians involved in a wide cross-section of music genres. He underscored the need for greater numbers to ensure that the business entity has the strength in numbers to demand and effect real change within the industry.
If you haven't heard, we've been endorsed by the ministry, we've been endorsed by CDF. So it's good things. So we're encouraging artists to join in, register with Balance, ask questions, ask me questions, ask about it. come and participate, and let's create this music industry that we so deserve. Let's do it, and it's we that have to do it.
Artist and treasurer of Balance Inc., Katina Remy, noted the enthusiasm of musicians and other stakeholders in the music industry.
It's amazing for us because, especially for the positive side, where we see so many people behind us, the ministers, the veterans, etc. And we're getting so many positive feedback from the artists themselves, because as you can see inside the numbers who actually came out to our very first workshop. And so it brings a pleasure to our hearts that artists are now understanding how important it is to stand up and take action and get to know their business, and that we are now an organization to represent all artists under the umbrella.
Balance Inc. says this first workshop is just the beginning of things to come as the entity aspires to impart practical knowledge and skills to its membership.
Students of the Canon Laurie Anglican Primary School are being given the opportunity to nurture their love for cricket through a small donation from a past student. Gasper Henry says with a small gift of cricket stumps and wind balls, he is hoping that the students will use it as the beginning of a pathway to a great career in sports. Rochelle Gonzalez tells us more.
Grateful students of the Canon Laurie Anglican Primary School put bat to ball on Thursday morning, enjoying a small but meaningful gift from a past student. Gasper Henry, who is the CEO of charitable organization Feed the Poor Ministry, presented sporting paraphernalia to his former school as a sign of goodwill. He said although the gesture might be small, it is the thought that counts.
I received a little token from a friend of mine, and I decided to hand them over to my alma mater, the students of the Anglican Primary School. I would love to be giving them more, but you cannot give what you haven't got. So I pray and I hope that the little blessing that I give these students today, that they make good use of it. And I pray that as time unfolds, more things will come, so I can see myself giving them at least some bats or some gloves to continue the cricketing gears. So I'm able to give them some stumps and 2 portions of wind balls.
Henry said the gesture could help keep the youngsters on a pathway to a successful sporting career.
I believe that that sports is a vehicle that the students could use to excel. And as we know that we have our own Melius, who is the captain of the West Indies under-19 team. So maybe one of these young students that you see there, they could emerge and they could make us proud in the future. So we must start from somewhere. So that's where I started, by giving them that. And I pray that as time unfolds, more things could come.
Physical education teacher at the school, Zachary Edwin, expressed his gratitude for the gift.
This will go a long way. They will be willing to come on board, try to work themselves through from the primary school and going up to the secondary school. So these equipments will go a very, very long way for these students here, so both boys and girls.
So in other words, you think it's a good start for the future generation of sportsmen and women in St. Lucia?
It is indeed a good start for the future boys and girls who are willing to play cricket on this island. As I said, the students here, they're willing, they want to get it going. They have been asking for it. We have a few there, but they are not in the best condition. But these new equipments, they will use it to better themselves, as I said earlier, and we're looking forward to it.
Edwin said the school has been in need of such sporting equipment for some time now, and so the gesture is much appreciated. Reporting for Hot 7 News, I'm Rochelle Gonzalez.
This is the Hot 7 TV Nightly News. Stay with us. There's more coming up after the break.